Joe Robinson grew up in the Hawkeye State with his sister. Their dad was a typesetter for the Des Moines Register and Tribune, and their mom worked for Bell Telephone. Joe's passion for career tech was sparked in high school when he enrolled in business education courses. He went on to major in business education and marketing at the University of Northern Iowa.
And I had an advisor by the name of Roger Ditzenberger who said, you need to look at teaching. You need to get your teaching credentials. I think you'd be very good at that. And so I took a few extra courses, and after that I got my teaching credential and went out and taught my first year.
After that year, Joe knew he was on the right career path.
I really like to be in the classroom, either high school, I did teach post-secondary, and then a lot of teacher education at the university level. So yes, I enjoyed the teaching very much and working with students.
Uncle Sam, on the other hand, had other plans.
That was during the Vietnam era, and some people will not remember, but they had a lottery system based on a number, and I drew a low number. So they actually drafted me right out of my high school teaching in March. And so I spent 2 years in the military, I was on my way to Vietnam and ended up going to Korea instead. I actually ran into a person that I knew from college who had was responsible for assigning people jobs overseas. And he said, how would you like to go to Korea instead of Vietnam? And I said, I would love it.
After his tour, Joe returned to UNI for his master's degree. He graduated and returned to teaching while he worked on his doctorate, teaching in Illinois, Missouri, and Wyoming. In 1983, Jim Strait introduced Joe to a unique vocational education system and offered him a job in Oklahoma as campus director at Great Plains Technology Center.
All the career tech programs, the vocational programs, were in the high school. And so the students never had the opportunity to get specific. There was very little industry support at that point, and that's another advantage of the technology system in Oklahoma is the industry support. Because of the way it was managed and the way it was set up, industry is very, very supportive, both with financial and personnel.
Great Plains was followed by Tulsa Tech and Indian Capital Tech Center. Then Joe served 3 years as vice president at Connors State College, but he returned to Career Tech as Meridian Tech's assistant superintendent. Meanwhile, Joe squeezed in time for another personal passion, Oklahoma's Special Olympics. He served on the International States Leadership Council. After Meridian, Joe's next move was to the State Department as Field Services Coordinator until he retired. Retirement means different things to different people, however, and Joe isn't one to let grass grow under his feet. He took a long-distance job as assistant principal in Arizona. When that commute began taking its toll, he retired a second time, briefly, relaxing at his Grand Lake condo.
Steve Tiger, who's now the superintendent at Tulsa Tech, was in charge of the Field Technology Center services, and I got a call from him, and he said, we've got an opening coming up. Are you interested? And I thought, yeah, why not go leave retirement again? And so came down and came back in the second time and again interviewed and received the job as a field service coordinator back at the State Department.
So retirement was postponed again for about 10 years. Joe also added adjunct faculty member at Oklahoma State to his resume. In 2013, Joe and his wife Judy received one of CareerTech's most prestigious honors, the Arch Alexander Award.
It was the first time that the Arch Alexander Award had ever been given to a husband and wife combined at the same time. So very, very honored, but very surprised at the same time. So.
Finally, in 2016, Joe tried to retire for about the third time. He and his wife moved to Colorado to spend time with family, including their 5 grandsons. Joe tinkers with his model trains, does a little landscaping at the new house, and drives through the mountains around Castle Rock with the top down on his bright red Corvette. Life in Colorado is not all yard work and football games for Joe, of course. After multiple failed retirements, Joe volunteers with Career Tech programs in the Douglas County School District in Castle Rock.
What I missed a lot was the interaction with individuals and the interaction with students. And so now, knowing typically all the Career Tech people in the system, but all the administrators in Douglas County, it's given me the opportunity to call up and say, hey, let's go have lunch.
A working lunch, of course, because there are still lessons to be taught and careers to be shaped, and Joe Robinson is the man to do it. Congratulations to Joe Robinson, 2024 Hall of Fame inductee.